Well, good evening and welcome to the Domingo Sepulveda Gym on the campus of Weslaco High School for tonight's by-district round of the state volleyball playoffs. Tonight, it is Los Fresnos Lady Falcons, the district champions coming out of District 32, a 7-1 record under the direction of head coach Ana Lucio. We'll be taking on your very own Lady Panthers of Weslaco High School. Well, Lady Panthers coming out of District 31. They did finish fourth with a 4-6 district record. They are under the direction of Gavin Rudder. Lady Panthers played in a very tough district. Were able to make it into the playoffs. As we mentioned just a little while ago, the Lady Falcons out of District 32 come in as the champions. Again, a 7-1 record for them. As I mentioned, they play out of District 31, and they played teams like San Benito, Veterans High School, Harlingen, and Brownsville, Hanna. Lady Panthers, of course, in District 31. As we mentioned, finishing fourth. Coming behind Edinburgh North, who finished third. Finishing second was Edinburgh High. And the champions of District 31 were the Far San Juan Animal Lady Bears. All three teams, first, second, and third, finishing with 8-2 records. We are about to get underway. Serving will be your Lady Panthers, and serving for your Lady Panthers, Sarai Alonso. The libero Lola Reyes back there with her, along with Brianna Trevino. We'll give you the other front three in just a second. That is Trevino. Alonso with the set out to the corner, and that's Caitlin Warren with a little dink. Great hustle there by Eby. Eby with a great job, and that's going to be a point for the Lady Falcons. A double hit on the side of the Lady Panthers, and the first point of the night goes to the Lady Falcons. Serving is Leila Trejo. Set to Warren. That doesn't get over, and we are tied at 1. Substitutions coming in for the Lady Panthers. Victoria Trevino, along with Caitlin Escamilla. And Trevino will go back to serve. That's the libero, Araceli Balboa, for the Lady Falcons. And at the net, it's a big block. That is Isabella Stroman at the net, showing you what she's been doing all year long. Net domination. Victoria Trevino with the serve. That's a kill for the Lady Falcons, Jessie Brisky. Cristally Armas will come onto the court for the Lady Falcons. She'll also go back to serve. It's going to be Trevino. Alonso with the set. Stroman with a dink. And that falls. What great play there by Isabella Stroman, recognizing what she can do and cannot do. And this time she went with the dink, and it paid off. 3-2 Lady Panthers on top. Isabella Stroman going back to serve. They'll set it to the top. Point, Lady Falcons, another dink, that one from Emily Cargill. And Cargill will go back to serve. 3-3 is the score here in set number 1. Cargill serving, Trevino, Alonso, Reyes with a bump across. Cargill with the set. Big swing from De La Cruz. Lady Panthers ready. Mistimed the jump was Escamilla, and it's a point for the Lady Falcons, and it's 4-3. Cargill serving, left-handed server. Trevino Alonso. She sets it up for Eby. And Eby with the kill. And we are tied at 4. Madison Martinez and Adriana Trevino will come onto the court, and they'll send Trevino back to serve. I'm sorry, it's going to be Martinez back to serve. At the net, played well there by Gonzalez with the block and then the wherewithal to keep it alive. Lola Reyes with the set to Martinez. The save by Balboa, the libero, and a kill from Cargill. 5-4, Lady Falcons are on top. Balboa serving for the Lady Falcons. Trevino with the set. That's Escamilla. Cargill with the save. De la Garza. The libero Lola Reyes saving that one, keeping alive Escamilla with a little dink. Lady Falcons weren't fooled by that. Great play there by Escamilla at the net. Gonzalez with the block. 4 hits charged to the Lady Panthers, and now the score is 6-4. Lady Falcons on top. Balboa serving. Reyes. They'll set it up to Trevino. Block at the net by Gonzalez and Trevino. Set to Adriana Trevino. That's going to be long. 5-6, Lady Panthers down by 1. Going back to serve is Caitlin Escamilla coming onto the court, or rather back onto the court is going to be Caitlin Warren. The serve from Escamilla, that one is very close to the net. Couldn't be played by the Lady Falcons, and now we are tied at 6. Escamilla serving. Middle set. Net violation on the Lady Panthers. Point Lady Falcons. 7-6, they're up by 1. They'll bring in Jessie Teresa Brisky onto the court. And back to serve is going to be Natalie Lozano. Here comes the serve from Lozano into the net, and we are tied at 7. Now serving for your Lady Panthers is going to be the libero, Lola Reyes. Lola Reyes, the center fielder for the state champion Lady Panthers. Little dink from Leila Trejo. Point Lady Falcons, they now are up once again by 1, 8-7. Back to serve is going to be Marcela Tijerina. Little running jump serve from Tijerina. Trevino, keep it alive, and they find an empty slot. Good play there, heads up play there from Ariana Trevino. Sarai Alonso back onto the court along with Bryn Eby, and Alonso will go back to serve. Middle set, big swing from Jessie Brisky, bumped across by Trevino. Little dink across from Tijerina. The save, Brianna Trevino. Set to, and that's a point for your Lady Panthers. I'm sorry, that's a point for the Falcons. That was out. score is 9-8. The Lady Falcons are on top. And that's going to be out, and now it's 10-8. Serving for the Lady Falcons, Leila Trejo. Reyes, Alonso, middle set. And that's a kill from Isabella Stroman. Bring the Lady Panthers back to within 1, 9-10. A couple of new Lady Panthers back on the court. Victoria Trevino along with Caitlin Escamilla. It'll be Trevino back to serve. We'll set it up here to the bottom to Cargill, and that's long. And we are now tied at 10. Victoria Trevino with the serve. Sent across, good save from Reyes. Eby sending it over. Cargill with a little dink and a save from Eby. Escamilla with a big swing, and the Lady Falcons able to return it back. That's going to be in, according to the referee on the back line, and the Lady Falcons regain the lead 11-10. They'll make a substitution, and they'll send Cristally Armas back onto the court, and she'll go back to serve. Trevino, Alonso. Double hit on the Lady Falcons. 2-point lead for the Lady Falcons. 12-10. Armas back to serve. Alonso with the set to Stroman. A block at the net from De La Cruz. Set it up to Cargill. Alonso. Reyes. Eby. Stroman with the kill. We are tied at 12. Wait, I made a mistake. It's 11-12. Into the net. Stroman with the serve. 13-11. Lady Falcons on top. Cargill back to serve for the Falcons. They are up 13-11. Middle set down to the bottom to Eby. Lady Falcons ready for that one. Escamilla, Alonso back to Eby. And she gets it down. Now they have 12. 12-13, Lady Panthers down by 1. Ariana Trevino back on the court. And Madison Martinez will be serving for your Lady Panthers. That's going to be long. 14-12. It's a 2-point lead for the Lady Falcons. Back onto the court for the Lady Falcons is Leila Trejo, and back to serve is the libero Araceli Balboa. Trevino really close to the net. Played well there by Madison Martinez because that thing was super close. Escamilla. Second shot over by Tijerina. That's a big swing from Lozano, but the Lady Panthers keep it alive. Tijerina with the set. Sent across as Lozano wasn't quite ready for that one. That is another Lady Panther point. 13-14. Down by 1 are your Lady Panthers. Back onto the court is going to be Caitlin Warren, and they'll send Caitlin Escamilla back to serve. Tijerina with the set. Across, Gonzalez, good play at the net. What hustle by Gonzalez. Off the net. And the Lady Panthers keep it alive. That was Madison Martinez and Ariana Trevino. This time they can't keep it alive, and now it's another 2-point lead for the Lady Falcons, 15-13. Back onto the court for your Lady Panthers is Brianna Trevino. Jessie Brisky back on the court for the Lady Falcons. And back to serve for the Lady Falcons is Natalie Lozano. They'll set it to Warren. Good save there by Trevino. Warren again. Little dink. Tijerina ready. Trevino. Cargill will set it. Blocked at the net by Gonzalez. They'll set it to Gonzalez. She'll push it over to the corner, but Cargill was there. And that's a kill from Brisky. Biggest lead of the night for the Lady Falcons is 3, 16-13. Lozano serving. Set to Warren. Tijerina will set it to Brisky. This time they set it in the middle to Trejo. The set to Warren. Over. Cargill playing center field there. Couldn't get the dink across, and that's a point for your Lady Falcons. That's a point for your Lady Panthers. 14-16. Down by 2 are your Lady Panthers. Lola Reyes back to serve. Reyes with the serve. Set in the middle for Trejo. Lady Panthers set it up in the corner. Warren bumps it across. That's a kill for Brisky and the Lady Falcons, back to a 3-point lead, 17-14. And they will send Marcela Tijerina back to serve. Running jump serve. Reyes, Trevino, Warren. Got to get it over, they do. They'll set it to Stroman. Stroman with a dink again. 15-17, Lady Panthers back down by 2. That's the second time we see Stroman decide to go with just the dink as she sees something there. 15-17, it's going to be Saraí Alonso with the serve. Trevino, Alonso to Warren. Tijerina setting to Cargill. That's out. Lady Panthers coming back now, down by 1, 16-17. The serve from Alonso. Double hit, carry. And now we are tied at 17. Alonso serving. Timeout called on the court by Coach Lucio as the Lady Panthers, trailing by 3, come right back, tied up at 17. We'll be right back. Tied at 17 here in the first set of this bi-district match between the Lady Falcons and your Lady Panthers. Alonso with the set. What a save from Trevino. Get it across, does Reyes. Trevino with the save. They'll set it up to Warren. She'll push it over. They'll set it to Cargill. Blocked at the net by Warren and Stroman. Over. Stroman a little too far back, came up, and now Lady Falcons up by 1, 18-17. They'll send De La Cruz back onto the court, and Brisky back to serve. Alonso with the set to Warren. Reyes with a dig. Warren, and that's good. We are now tied at 18. Back onto the court for your Lady Panthers, Caitlin Escamilla. Caitlin Warren back to serve. The libero, Balboa. Bumped across by Brisky. Alonso with the set to Stroman. Stroman with the dink. Played well by Cargill, but not good enough. And your Lady Panthers with their first lead of the night, 19-18. It is Warren with the serve. Tijerina. That is set to Brisky. Played well by your Lady Panthers. Time they set it. Stroman bumps it right back. Cargill. That's good. Now we are tied at 19. Lady Falcons send Cristally Armas back onto the court, and they'll send her back to serve. Here comes the serve from Armas. Reyes. Alonso. Reyes calling it, bumps it across. Tejina with the set to Cargill. Good play there by your Lady Panthers. It was Escamilla and Stroman, very well played. Stroman right around it out. And again, the veteran play of Stroman shows up here in this bi-district match. We've seen that 3 times, not the exact play, but just a heads-up play. The wherewithal to know where they ain't. And now your Lady Panthers are up by 1, 20-19. And we've got a timeout on the court. We'll be right back. Lady Panthers up 20 here in the first set. It is Isabella Stroman serving. That's long, and now we are tied at 20. Emily Cargill will now serve for the Lady Falcons. Reyes, Alonso, Escamilla pushes it across, but Lozano was ready for it. Lozano with a dink. Escamilla this time is ready. Blocked at the net, but it's out. Point, Lady Panthers. 21-20. Lady Panthers up by 1, and they'll send Madison Martinez back to serve. Here comes the serve from Martinez. Tijerina across, Reyes. The set to Escamilla. Bottom, they set it to Lozano. Lady Panthers ready, not fooled at all. Tijerina with the set. Again to Lozano. And the block at the net from Alonso. 22-20. Lady Panthers on top here in the first set. Serve, Madison Martinez. Cargill bumps it across. The set from Martinez. Alonso pushes it over. Tijerina bumping. Cargill slapping it over. Again, Martinez with the set. Escamilla pushing it to the back row. And back there were the Lady Falcons ready. And that is a point for the Lady Falcons. They come back to bring it to within one. 21-22. They'll send 21 back to serve. Their libero, Araceli Balboa. Here comes the serve from Balboa. Set from Madison Martinez. And that is good. Escamilla saw an opening all the way across the court, and she put it there with pinpoint accuracy. 23-21, it's a 2-point lead for your Lady Panthers, and here comes the serve from Escamilla. Middle set, and what a save from your Lady Panthers. Alonso's second shot over. Thought about the set, but saw something. And that's a kill from Lozano. Lady Falcons keeping it a 1-point game here, 22-23. And back to serve will be Lozano. Here comes the serve from Lozano. Reyes. Martinez. The set to Warren. And the Lady Falcons get it over, and mistiming the jump with Warren. And now we are tied at 23. Coach Rutter wants a timeout. Wants to settle the girls down. 23 up here in set number one. We'll be right back. Back from the timeout. 23 all here in set number one. Lozano with the serve. Reyes, Martinez, Alonso across. They'll set it across for De La Cruz. And that is a hustling play by Reyes, but they don't get it over in the three. And now the Lady Falcons lead by one, 24-23, with a chance to take set number one. Lozano serving. Reyes, Martinez, Alonso. And now we are tied at 24. Remember, you got to win by two. They'll send Lola Reyes back to serve. Lozano. Tijerina over. Stroman sends it right back. But hustling down and tracking it down is Trejo. And they get the point. The Lady Falcons do, up by one, 25-24. It is set point again for the Lady Falcons. Running jump serve from Marcela Tijerina. Alonso across. The libero hustling. That is Balboa. Right back. What a play from Madison Martinez. Cargill with the kill. And the Lady Falcons take set number one, 26-24. This was a close one, going back and forth. And we'll be back with the second set as the Lady Falcons take the first one, 26-24. You're enjoying Lady Panther by-district playoff volleyball right here on KWES. The ladies have switched sides, and we are now ready for set number two in this bi-district round of the state high school playoffs. Girls volleyball. Lady Panthers on the court. They've got Caitlin Warren, Isabella Stroman, Madison Martinez, Salaia Alonso, Lola Reyes, and Brianna Trevino. Lady Falcons on the court, Emily Cargill, Natalie Lozano, Marcela Tijerina, the libero, Araceli Balboa, Leila Trejo, and Jessie Brisky. Lady Falcons will serve, and they'll send Marcela Tijerina back to serve to get set number two underway. She has a running jump serve, and that's an ace. Gets away from the Lady Panthers. They take a 1-0 lead here to begin set number two. In case you're just joining us, the Lady Falcons did take the first set, 26-24. Marcela Tijerina. Alonso, Martinez. Alonso pushes it over. Good hustle there by Tijerina. Bumped across by Trejo. They'll set it to Warren, blocked at the net. Coming right back to play, it was Warren. Stroman sending it over. Again at the net, it's Alonso and Stroman. Pushed across by Alonso. She didn't have much play there. It was getting really close to the net. And a kill from Brisky. 2-0 Lady Falcons on top. Tijerina serving. There's a serve from Tijerina Reyes. Second shot across by Martinez. Second shot by Tijerina, pushed all the way to the back row, but Reyes was ready. And they're going to charge a carry on the side of the Lady Panthers. And now it's a 3-0 Lady Falcon lead. Here comes the serve from Tijerina. Tijerina will set it to Cargill, and that's a kill. 4-0 Lady Falcons on top. Here comes the serve from Tijerina once again. That's going to be long. 1 point for the Lady Panthers. And they trail 1-4, and they'll send Saray Alonso back to serve. The serve from Alonso is long, and it's a 5-1 game. Leila Trejo will now serve for the Lady Falcons. Reyes, Alonso, Stroman with a kill. 2-5. Lady Panthers with a couple of substitutions. It's going to be Caitlin Escamilla along with Victoria Trevino, and Trevino will serve. They'll set it, and tracking it down and sending it over is Brisky for the Lady Falcons. Stroman couldn't get it to go over, tried to just niche it over, but just hung up there a little too long. Two 5, Lady Panthers down. I'm sorry, 2-6. Lady Panthers trail, and the Lady Falcons serving. They set it up to Escamilla. The set to Lozano into the net. 3-6, Lady Panthers down by 3, and it'll be Stroman back to serve. And coming onto the court for your Lady Panthers is going to be Daniela Gonzalez. Here comes the serve from Stroman. Gets away from the Lady Falcons, and the Lady Panthers now down by only 2. 4-6 is the score here in set number 2. Lady Falcons took the first set 26-24. It is Isabella Stroman serving. Tijerina with the set to Lozano. That's a kill. 7-4, Lady Falcons up by 3, and Cargill will go back to serve. The serve from Cargill. Reyes, Alonso, that is Eby. What a save from Reyes. Well, they didn't get across. That one went into the net. And it's a 4-point lead for the Lady Falcons, 8-4, and it's Cargill with the serve. Trevino, Reyes, got to get it across, and Eby does. At the net. What a block from Gonzalez. 5-8. Lady Panthers down by 3. Madison Martinez back to serve for your Lady Panthers. Tijerina to Lozano. The dink gets the point for the Lady Falcons. And they'll send Araceli Balboa back to serve as the Lady Falcons lead this one 9-5. Trevino, Martinez, Trevino. Tijerina sets to Lozano. That doesn't get across. Lady Panther fans are saying that was a double hit, but the referees are saying that it was touched by the Lady Panthers at the net. Tijerina serves, sets to Lozano. Good save there by Reyes. They'll set it to Trevino. It goes into the net, and it's a point for the Lady Falcons. They now lead by 5, 10-5. Back to serve, Araceli Balboa. Reyes, Martinez, Escamilla, out. 11-5. Timeout. Lady Panthers. 11-5, Lady Falcons on top here in set number 2. We'll be right back. (11-5) is the score here in the second set of the bi-district round of the state high school volleyball playoffs between the Lady Falcons and your Lady Panthers. Lady Falcons took the first set 26-24. They lead in the second set 11-5. Set to Escamilla. Lozano is ready for that dink. Sent across by Trejo. And that falls, and it's another point for the Lady Falcons, now leading by 7, 12-5. Balboa serving. Set by Martinez to Escamilla. Cargill is ready. Tijerina will set it in the middle to Trejo. Point, Lady Panthers. 6-12. Caitlin Escamilla now back to serve for your Lady Panthers. Cargill, Balboa, called by Lozano, sends it across. They'll set it to Trevino, blocked at the net by Trejo. Over. Great play by Tijerina, but her momentum carried her across the line. So it's a point for your Lady Panthers. And now they have cut it to a 5-point deficit, trailing 7-12. Escamilla serving. That's into the net. Hard to play by Tijerina. Couldn't find a place, and now it's 8-12. Lady Panthers down by 4. Here comes the serve from Escamilla. That's long. 13-8, Lady Falcons on top. Back on the court for the Lady Falcons is Jessie Brisky. Back to serve is going to be Natalie Lozano. Reyes, Martinez. That is Gonzalez sending it over. What play there by Trevino into the net, Lady Panthers. And it's a 14-8 Lady Falcon lead. Lozano serving. Reyes. Martinez, second shot over. Played well at the net by Brisky. Net violation on your Lady Panthers. 15-8 is now the score. And back to serve is Lozano. Reyes gets away from her. 16-8. 16-8 is the score. It's Lozano serving for the Lady Falcons. That's an ace. 17-8. Lozano serving. Right back over, and that's a kill at the net from Brisky. 18-8. It's a 10-point lead for the Lady Falcons. Lozano serving. Martinez to Trevino. Cargill sent across by Brisky. Couldn't be sent back by the Lady Panthers, and now it is 19-8, 11-point lead for the Lady Falcons. Again, Lozano serving. Reyes, Martinez, Gonzalez sending it over. That's long. 9-19, Lady Panthers down here in set number 2. Lola Reyes is serving. Serve from Reyes. Sent back by the Lady Falcons. Martinez will set it to Trevino, and she gets a kill. 10-19. Lady Panthers cut into that lead. Reyes with the serve. Balboa, Tijerina, they'll set it to Brisky. Cannot be returned by the Lady Panthers. And it's again a 10-point lead for the Lady Falcons, 20-10. They'll send Marcela Tijerina back to serve. She has that running jump serve. Trevino, the set from Martinez is Stroman. Tijerina with the set to Cargill. That's long. 11-20. Back on the court for your Lady Panthers is Sarai Alonso along with Bryn Eby, and they'll send Alonso back to serve. Balboa, Tijerina, Cargill. Good play there at the net. And it's sent right back by Brisky. And now it's again a 10-point lead, 21-11. Lady Falcons leading this one. Leila Trejo serving for the Lady Falcons. Reyes, Alonso, Stroman. Good block, play at the net by the Lady Falcons. Cargo sends it across, finds an empty spot, it falls, 22-11. Trejo serving. Trevino, Alonso. Sent across by Eby. They'll set it up to Brisky. What a play by Reyes. Brisky tries to send it right back, but that's long and wide. Lady Panthers with the point. Substitutions being had. Caitlin Escamilla back to serve. They'll send Victoria Trevino back to serve. And it's 12-22, a 10-point lead. Make it 23 because that is long. Lady Falcons with a substitution. Crystally Armas onto the court. She'll go back to serve. Up 23-12. First shot over. Lady Falcons were almost fooled by their own player, De La Cruz. Stroman with a kill. 13-23. And they'll send Stroman back to serve. Here comes a serve from Stroman. Balboa, Tijerina, set to Lozano. Alonso will set it to Eby. Cargill with a kill. 24-13. A chance for the Lady Falcons to put 2 sets under their belt. Here comes the serve from Cargill. Alonso with the set to Eby. Cargill sets it to Lozano. That's a kill for Lozano. And the Lady Falcons win the second set 25-13. Lady Falcons on top, 2-0 here in the bi-district round of the state high school volleyball playoffs. We'll switch sides and we'll be right back with the third set right here on KWES. Set number 3 about to get underway. EB, Stroman, and Gonzalez up front. Reyes, Escamilla, and Alonso in the back. And it's Alonso with the serve. And they cannot get it back. And the Lady Falcons take the first point here in set number 3. In case you're just joining us, the Lady Falcons took the first 2 sets. First set 26-24. Second set 25-13. Back to serve for the Lady Falcons is going to be Brisky. They'll set it to Cargill. Alonso with the save. Escamilla tracking it down. Reyes sending it across. Tijerina setting it to Cargill. Cargill mistimed the jump. Was able to get it down. Then it's 2-0. Lady Falcons on top. Leila Trejo serving for the Lady Falcons. Trejo with the serve. Alonso will set it to Eby, and that goes into the net. Misplayed it, couldn't quite figure out where she wanted it, and it cost them. Now it's 3-0, Lady Falcons on top. Trejo serving. That's wide. 1-3. Lady Panthers are going to send Caitlin Warren back to serve. That's going to be long. 4-1, Lady Falcons on top. Warren will take a breather, and they'll send Victoria Trevino back onto the court, your Lady Panthers, with the substitution there. And for the Lady Falcons, it's going to be Cristally Armas back to serve. Lola Reyes. Alonso sets to Stroman. Sent over by Lozano for the Lady Falcons. Alonso sets it to Escamilla. Four hits on the side of the Lady Falcons. They're going to say that it didn't get across. It went into the net and played by the Lady Falcons, thus costing them a 4th hit. Isabella Stroman back to serve for your Lady Panthers. They trail 2-4. Right at the net, sending it right back was Gonzalez. But the Lady Falcons were ready, and now that's another point for them, and they lead 5-2. Emily Cargill now serving. Reyes sent over. Lozano sends it right back. Alonso will set it to Eby. Cargill with the set on the bottom. They're going to say carry on the Lady Falcons. 3-5. Lady Panthers down by 2. Substitutions being had. Madison Martinez and Ariana Trevino coming back on the court for your Lady Panthers. And it'll be Madison Martinez back to serve. The serve from Martinez. Tijerina setting to Lozano. The call a violation of the net on the Lady Panthers. So that's a point for the Lady Falcons. 6-3, they are up by 3. It's the libero, Araceli Balboa, with the serve for the Lady Falcons. Escamilla with a kill. 4-6, Lady Panthers down. Back on the court for your Lady Panthers is Caitlin Warren. And Caitlin Escamilla will serve. Cargill, Tijerina, middle set to Trejo. And that's long, so it's a point for your Lady Panthers. They trail by 1, 5-6. The serve from Escamilla. Tijerina with the set to Lozano. Kill. 7-5. Lozano back to serve. Here comes the serve from Lozano. Reyes. Martinez. Trevino. Blocked at the net. Double hit on the Lady Falcons. So that's a point for your Lady Panthers. And Lola Reyes will go back to serve. Lady Panthers trailing by 1, 6-7. Reyes serving. Tejerina setting. Pushed across by Trejo. And now it's a two-point lead for the Lady Falcons, 8-6. Marcela Tijerina serving for the Lady Falcons. Escamilla Martinez set to Warren. Across, Reyes, Trevino. They'll set it to Brisky, but that goes into the net. That's a point for your Lady Panthers. They'll send Eby and Alonso back onto the court. Alonso will go back to serve. Lady Panthers trailing 7-8. Here comes a serve from Alonso. Set to Trejo. In the middle, Stroman across. Balboa, Tijerina, Trejo. Alonso with the save. Stroman sends it right across. And the Lady Falcons off the net. We're ready for that one. Stroman with a kill. 8-8 is the score. Alonso with the serve. We'll set it in the middle to De La Cruz. Sent across by Warren. Warren with the set to Reyes. Cargill over. Stroman. Alonso. Into the net. 9-8. Lady Falcons up by 1. Serving for the Lady Falcons is going to be Leila Trejo. Escamilla. Sent across by Stroman. Brisky sends it over. Played well by the Lady Panthers. Great hustle. Blocked by Warren and Stroman. But it went under the net. That was weird. I think it went under the net. It is 10-8. Lady Falcons on top. Stroman. Sent across by Alonso. She saw something. And now it's 9-10. Caitlin Warren serving for your Lady Panthers. Lady Falcons miscommunication there, and now we are tied at 10. (10-10) is the score. Warren serving. The set to Brisky, and she gets it to fall. And it's 11-10. Lady Falcons up by 1. They will make a substitution, and they will send Cristally Armas onto the court. She'll go back to serve. Lady Panthers will send Victoria Trevino back onto the court. Here comes the serve from Armas. That goes into the net, tied again this time at 11. Speaking of 11, 11 will come back onto the court for your Lady Panthers, and that is Daniela Gonzalez. Isabella Stroman back to serve. Armas, Balboa, Cargill, Alonso, Trevino, Stroman, long. 12-11. Lady Falcons on top by 1. Emily Cargill now serving for the Lady Falcons. That's an ace. 13-11. Cargill serving. Trevino, second shot over by Alonso. They'll set it to Lozano. Hustled and tracked down by your Lady Panthers. Sent over by Escamilla. Cargill with the set. All the way to the back row. Pushing it was Lozano. Lady Panthers send it right back. Martinez, Alonso, Escamilla. They'll set it to Lozano. That's a kill. 14-11, Lady Falcons on top. Cargill serving. Here comes the serve from Cargill. Reyes, Alonso, to Eby. Point, Lady Panthers, 12-14. They'll send Madison Martinez back onto the court along with Ariana Trevino. And it'll be Madison Martinez back to serve. Long. 15-12, 3-point lead for the Lady Falcons. The libero, Araceli Balboa, serving for the Lady Falcons. Reyes, Martinez to Escamilla. Tijerina sends it over. Trevino. That's Eby to Trevino. Lozano over. That drops. And it's a 4-point lead for the Lady Falcons, 16-12. Balboa serving. Reyes, Martinez, sent across by Gonzalez. Lozano for the Lady Falcons. Escamilla. But good hustle by Lozano. Set by Martinez to Trevino. Balboa in the back row is ready. Here comes Cargill. And what a save by Victoria Trevino. Bumped across by Reyes. Escamilla. Eby back to Escamilla. That's good. Escamilla with a kill. She gets it to fall. And now the Lady Panthers down by just 3. They'll send Warren back onto the court. And it'll be Caitlin Escamilla back to serve. The serve from Escamilla. The kill from Lozano. 17-13. Lady Falcons on top. Lady Falcons will send Brisky back onto the court. And it'll be Natalie Lozano serving. Into the net. 14-17. Lady Panthers trail by 4. Lola Reyes will go back to serve for your Lady Panthers. Here comes the serve from Reyes. Balboa, Tijerina with the set right in the middle of Trejo. What a save by Warren, sent across by Trevino. Again, the set to Trejo. This time, the save by Reyes. Trevino hustling, sending it over, and not going across. The save from Eby. Trevino pushing it over. Trejo with the save. Cargill over. Trevino ready. This time they set was just a little out of her reach. And it's a point for the Lady Falcons. They now are up by 4, 18-14. And it'll be Marcela Tijerina serving. Here comes the serve from Tijerina. Escamilla to Martinez to Stroman. And she gets it to fall. 15-18. Back on the court is Bryn Eby along with Sarai Alonso. And it'll be Alonso with the serve. Balboa, Tijerina with the set in the middle to Brisky. Stroman with a pushover. Brisky extending, keeping it alive. And Alonso down on her knees keeps it in play. Tijerina with the save, with a set. Cargill with the kill. And it's a 4-point lead once again for the Lady Falcons, 19-15. Trejo serving for the Lady Falcons. Alonso. And a block at the net from De La Cruz. And the Lady Falcons up 20-15. Coach Rudder wants a timeout, and his Lady Panthers are trailing by 5 here in the third set. 20-15. We'll be right back. Third set in the bi-district round of the state high school volleyball playoffs. Lady Falcons up 20-15. They've taken the first 2 sets, 26-24, 25-13. Cargill with another kill, 21-15. Trejo serving for the Lady Falcons. Here comes the serve from Trejo. Reyes, Alonso. Reyes right over. The fake from Stroman. That's another kill from the Lady Falcons, this time Brisky. 22-15 is now the score. Trejo serving. Reyes, Alonso to Stroman, and a kill. 16-22. And your Lady Panthers are going to send Caitlin Warren back to serve. The serve from Warren. Tijerina with the set. Cargill with another kill. 23-16. Lady Falcons back on the court with Cristally Armas, and she goes back to serve. Here comes the serve from Armas. Trevino, Alonso, Stroman. Lady Falcons keep it alive. Lozano, but the Lady Panthers, they keep the volley going. Set to Cargill. What a save, played at the net by Escamilla and Stroman, and then Reyes keeping it alive. Hustling is Escamilla with the diving save. In the middle to Lozano. Another dig from Reyes. blocked at the net. They're going to say it's a net violation on the Lady Falcons. Point Lady Panthers. 17-23, Lady Panthers down. Isabella Stroman will go back to serve. Here comes the serve from Stroman. Tijerina with the set. Stroman with a dig. Alonso sends it across. Cargill into the net. 18-23. Lady Panthers bringing it in to within 5. Here comes the serve from Stroman. Stroman serving. Here comes Trevino to Escamilla. Another kill from the Lady Panthers, this time Caitlin Escamilla. Bringing it to within 4. Stroman serving. Balboa, Tijerina to Cargill. Dink, 24-19. A chance for the Lady Falcons to take the bi-district title right here. They lead 2-0. It's set point here in the third set. Cargill with the save, with the serve, excuse me. Into the net. Lady Panthers keep this one going. 20-24. It's going to be Madison Martinez back on the court along with Ariana Trevino. The serve from Martinez. Cargill. Tejerina calls it, sends it across. Trevino. Martinez. Back to Trevino. Cargill with the set to Lozano. Good save by Reyes. Got to get it across. And Victoria Trevino does just that. Lozano with the kill and the win, 25-20. The Lady Falcons are bi-district champions. They defeat your Lady Panthers 3-0, 26-24, 25-13, and 25-20. Want to congratulate the Lady Panthers on a great season. Coach Rudder getting them to the playoffs again, but they bow out in the bi-district round of the playoffs, falling to the Lady Falcons of District 32, losing in 3 straight sets, 26-24, 25-13, 25-20. Again, great season for our Lady Panthers. Want to thank Joseph Hale on the computer, Vinny Berry on the camera. I am Joe Aguilar saying good night as the Lady Panthers fall in the bi-district round of the state high school volleyball playoff, 3-0, falling to the Lady Falcons. We'll see you next year right here on KWES.